You see Bronny's game last night or highlights, I guess?
I did. I mean, okay, so he's obviously already above average returns for a second round draft pick, but
Right.
I don't think the people who use every good game he has as a "I told you so" are any different than the Stephen A. Smiths of the world. Just let the kid hoop. Like he ain't taking no interviews. He ain't taking no pictures. He's not. He just wants to
Right.
hoop. And like every game is not like we don't need to relitigate this every time he plays. Like he's going to have good games. He's going to have bad games. That's what happens
Right.
when you're a middling
With
prospect.
rookies.
I also think people in general just don't understand how good NBA players are.
No, they really don't.
Like there's this dude who tweeted, I wish I could give him proper credit, but he was like, there's 450 players in the NBA, right?
Right.
And there's like the top 300 are just galaxies better than anything you've ever seen before. And then there's like 150 there that are interchangeable with about, 200 other players in the world. You can give or take or whatever. But like the
Yeah.
players in the NBA that actually play the top 300 are so much
Right.
better than the next 300 players. So yeah, you
Yeah.
can go to the G League and drop 30 and still struggle to make the rotation in the NBA. And I have a story about that when I'm gonna let you speak, but I have a story to wrap that up. So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's like I think I saw I can't remember who said it, was a podcast I was listening to. Somebody said something similar. They said every NBA player is Michael Jordan in their hometown.
yeah,
Like they
Patrick
like
Beverly
they go back
averaged
home.
30 in high school.
Yeah, 30. I think that was like what, like 37 in high school, something like that, like something crazy. Like
Right. Um, is you don't like it's NBA players in like super high end mathematics. It's just like
right.
like physics PhDs, like the really good ones. You can't just
Yeah.
say this person is a quantum physics PhD and that tell you much of anything. Just like saying some quantum physics PhDs are Kevin Durant and some are, fuck PJ Tucker. Like it's
Yeah.
just like they're both NBA players, but that doesn't describe what they do, you know.
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
That's
so
that's a
it's just
fair point.
like the top the 300 NBA players that actually play are so much better than like the
Yeah.
150 dudes in the NBA who don't play, who are also so much better than like the 200 dudes around the world who could make the NBA give or take.
Correct. Yeah.
So I wish Bronny well. I don't have any, but like everyone just let
Right.
him hoop. Just let him hoop. That's all.
Yeah, and I think the thing too is like I think why people have to go feel the need to go so hard when he has his good games is when he was having his good games early on, all of a sudden it was crickets. And
Yeah.
then when he was having bad, quote unquote, bad games, which by the way, if you're playing, like I think, like for example, like the Bron Stephen A shit, right? I
Yeah.
think part of his biggest issue was when he went up there and read Bronny's stats, where he's like, he's got point 0.3 points, point 0.8
Yeah.
assists, point 0.2 rebounds. It's like if you're playing 2 minutes at the end of a blowout and you've been on the bench
Yeah.
cold for 3 hours, how the fuck are you supposed to put up 15 points?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, let's use some logic here.
No, and I mean, and Nick Wright made the good point. He goes, you know, line up what he's accomplished as the 55th pick in the draft, and you can't like that's way more than anyone could expect out of the 55th pick
Correct.
in the draft. And so I was like, I even had to readjust. I was like, honestly, I thought it was just nepotism bullshit. But like at this point,
Right.
he has exceeded expectations for the 55th pick in the
Correct.
NBA draft. And like I have a problem with the way LeBron handled a lot of those things, but at the end of the day,
Right.
I can't say he was undeserving of being the 55th pick in the draft.
Right.
And I mean, also he damn near died a year ago. So like
Right.
there's
Like
that
it's
too.
that's the thing
Uh
people forget. It's like if you if like I think I was in Gilbert Arenas podcast and
yeah.
he's like friends with LeBron, so he's probably known Brian since he was like a little kid. He was one of his
Yeah.
first trainers, I think, actually. And he said, like NBA players, like we love our kids, but we just can't be there. We can't spend much
Yeah.
time with them. So if you're an NBA player, you're towards the end of your career and you missed a good chunk of your child's life just because of your job, and then that child almost dies doing your job, would you or would you not want that child by your side while doing that job with you? Like if you have the opportunity. Now, granted, there's again nepotism at play, but
Yeah.
let's not. He showed himself to be at least qualified to work towards it being a developmental project in the NBA.
I mean, I understand that point of view, but I think that also misses the point in that I'm sure that's what LeBron wants, but has anyone asked Bronny if that's what he wants? Like,
Right.
he's
It
like, you
appears
would
to
want your kid
be
to play with you. You would want it's like, okay, but like, has
right.
anyone asked him if he wants to be
Well,
take your child to work day?
it appears that it sounds like that's what he wants. Just, I mean, obviously, I don't
I've
know
never
him,
heard him speak. Uh,
Um,
I'm just
I
saying,
know,
I would rather be getting clocked in a low pressure environment and rich at USC than whatever the hell is going on. Like them
fair.
taking coach flights and flying for the Lakers G
Right.
League team. Because again, he doesn't need the money. So,
Right.
it's just that's just if I were 20 years old, do you want
Yeah.
to go to work with your dad and travel and, live in Hilton Garden Inns, or do you want to play on UNC and just be a college kid? That's what I would prefer if I
Fair.
didn't
I
need the
think
money.
right. Well, so I was looking up. I was listening to another. Damn, who's podcast? Oh, it is what it is with Cam and Mace.
Yeah.
And they had I think an analyst on the reporter on there, and she was saying like, the coach that Bronny had at USC, they're like he's widely criticized, like he's panned by pretty much all executives across the board. Like this coach, no offense, this guy was not a good coach, was not known for
Yeah.
getting the best out of his players,
Is he still
and
there?
also
UNC
no, he got
basketball
fired.
head coach.
His name was
Okay.
Andy Enfield. He got fired
Okay.
after Bronny's freshman year after he
Okay,
left.
fair enough.
So, and that team was like loaded with a lot of like
Sorry for looking off screen.
top tier talent. Oh no,
Yeah.
you're good. That team was loaded with like a lot of top tier recruits or whatever. So they like, and they didn't even make the tournament. They were like widely uh disappointing. So obviously there was something going on with that team there. I also think personally speaking, like people talk about the whole pro versus college shit. The college game as a whole, the last 10, 15 years has just gotten really, really hard to watch and really, really ugly. Like,
Yeah.
if it's just not just based on what we've seen from Bronny's game, I didn't expect him to have great college numbers anyway because the floor is shrunk. The players can't shoot. Half of them can't dribble. You know what I mean? And also, I think, too, the thing is because he was growing up as LeBron's son, he probably didn't want, how do I want to phrase this? Didn't want to put too much light on himself, draw too much
Yeah.
attention to himself. So I think as a result, his game suffered because you're not trying to like go at niggas. Like
Yeah.
you're not, you know what I mean? Like now he's in
Yeah.
the G League and he's getting criticized. So he's like, nah, I got to show you niggas like I belong here. Whereas growing up, he probably had to feel the need to like not be like the rich, spoiled rich kid, not come across that way.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that that caused his game to suffer as well.
Yeah, maybe. I would like to add that the high school he played for, I forget the name of it.
Sierra Canyon.
Yeah, that's just all spoiled rich kids. So it's
Yeah, fair, yeah.
he wasn't in the trenches.
True, but he was the richest of the rich kids,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. His dad's got a bill.
Bill.
No, I just the story I was talking about earlier is that my camera's doing weird things.
Yeah,
Is
the
that
lighting was weird.
yeah, it just all right. So, when I lived in Minnesota, this was back before the Timberwolves had their own like training facility, and so the Lifetime Fitness
Hmm.
in downtown Minneapolis was a lot of times that basketball court in there. There was like one other court to the next to it, and it was roped off, and that's where the
Yeah.
T-Wolves trained basically.
Hmm.
And so you could see the players walk past and things like that.
Yeah.
And you remember Ben Wallace,
Yeah, of course.
Detroit
Yeah.
Business Center? Okay. Um, One time he came over and just hopped in our pickup game. And this one
That's
I knew
crazy.
NBA players are just different.
Different.
You would have thought the nigga was Steph Curry. And if the people listening need to understand that Ben Wallace in an NBA game could not dribble. He
Right.
was pulling up from 30, crossing us up, behind the back. He just didn't miss. Like it was just,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the dude whom in an NBA game, he might as well not even come up the court on offense. Like it
You're
was
playing 405 offensively. You're playing 405
And
offensively.
when I
Like,
tell
yeah.
you he was pulling up from 30 on us, not sweating, jumping out of the gym, making every shot. And that's when I just
Yeah.
knew it's impossible to understand how good NBA players are.
No, it really is. And
When I
also
saw like
like
the worst offensive player in the league gave us the blues. Like he just without even trying.
and that's the thing, because also it's like what is your role? Like in the NBA, a lot of guys can do that, but they're not asked to do that because there's other guys on the team that are paid to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's if like Draymond Green, I hear the same thing about him. Where like if I'm sure if he went to Lifetime Fitness with us, he'd give crazy buckets, I'd
Yeah.
assume.
No,
Like
it's
it's just
just
like there's such a gap in talent disparity between regular people and athletes, and also just the best basketball players in the world, even quote unquote the role player guys.
yeah. I mean, even at
It's
the top of the
crazy.
top, like the top five NBA players are so much better than the top 20.
Yeah, like it's
So
ridiculous. And then it only shows himself in high pressure situations like the playoffs. Like that's why, LeBronto, like that's why
yeah.
the Raptors couldn't get. They just it didn't matter how like DeRozan in like 1990 would be probably be something close to MJ,
Yeah.
but compared to like the talent level with LeBron James, you look significantly less than.
I am gonna let the DeRozan close to MJ thing slide as we move on to the Breakfast Club. I guess the lady, so the Jess
Just
hilarious, I
hilarious.
guess.
Yeah.
Went just had a little. Did she get fired, or was that what happened there?
No, she still works there. She's
Okay,
still like been on air. So she
but she
went
got a little
on
bump
IG
to the
Live.
side.
Yeah, so
Okay,
she got the job
okay,
replacing Angela Yee.
okay,
She got pregnant or was pregnant midway through the getting the job process, or
yeah,
whatever. So she ended up needing to have the baby, had the baby,
yeah,
and took maternity leave. And Lauren LaRosa, who's a producer also on the show and has an extensive journalism background with TMZ and I think some other news organizations,
yeah,
was doing filling in for her and actually Jess tabbed her as the fill-in. So she
yeah,
she handpicked her to be the fill-in because she knew she was good. And then basically when she came back, they didn't take Lauren off the mic.
yeah,
And and the fans took to Lauren a lot because I don't know if you've heard any of her drops and just any of her work on the show.
yeah.
She's, great to listen to, very personable, professional, very smooth on the mic, very eloquent. And in
She's
comparison
a trained
to
journalist, and Jess is an
yeah, she's a
internet
trained
comedian.
journalist. Yes. Yeah,
Um,
you can see the difference between a journalist and just like talent,
yeah.
you know?
I just want to say off the top, I'm deeply uncomfortable with people losing their job because they went on maternity leave.
Correct.
That's just
Correct.
something that even if I think the Lauren lady is
Yeah,
significantly more talented than Jess Hilarious, I'm just
correct.
always going to be uncomfortable. I thought they had actually fired her, which I don't even think that's legal, but
Yeah,
to
no,
fire someone for
they
having
haven't
a
done that
baby. But
yet. Yeah.
I'm just if you're telling me she had the job, it was her solo, and then she went on maternity leave and she came back and the job materially changed, I'm never going to be all the way comfortable with that, even if I can see
Right.
the
That
disparity in talent. Um,
correct.
but that just goes to show, man, so many people in now that we do this endeavor just underrate reliability and professionalism. Like,
No, they really do.
showing up on time, having done your research,
Yes, being
being
prepared.
prepared, practicing, rehearsing.
Yes,
It was like the thing like,
being
well,
able to
what
read your drops on air live. It's
correct.
really important.
Not just, like I can tell in the podcast space who shows up, turns on their mic, and that's the first thing they thought about all day was the pod. That's the first time they thought about the pod all day. And
Yep.
who comes prepared. You can you'll see an
Yeah.
author who wrote a book who go on a podcast, and I can tell which hosts read it, which ones have
Yep.
not read it yet. And so like that stuff matters. It
That's a
really
fact.
does. And people think just because you're funny or you're naturally talented on social media that it means you can just turn on a mic and make it crack.
Yeah. Correct.
Charlemagne and DJ Envy, they've been doing this for 20 years. And Angela Lee
Hmm.
Yee was there for 20 years. They were used to a standard of professionalism. Although the
Yep.
hijinks are there, believe me, the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. You don't make it that long in radio with being
No,
a
you don't last 15 years in New York radio
not at a
unfortunately.
show that starts at 4 in the morning. Like
Hell
you're
no,
not staying
no.
out, you're not going to the clubs if you got to be up at 4 in the, like these people are professionals.
Yes.
And that stuff matters. That's why Weezy did, when they were saying he didn't get the Super Bowl, I'm like, he's notoriously unreliable. You're not one's
Yeah.
gonna book you for the Super Bowl when
When they
every
don't know if you're going to
promoter
show up
in
to rehearsal.
when every promoter in the United States has a horror story about you. Like,
Right. Like for his show here in Raleigh at PNC/Lenovo Arena,
yeah.
his show started at 7. My friends went to the show. They said he didn't come out till after 11 o'clock and he only performed for 1 hour.
Yeah.
Thank God I didn't pay for a ticket.
And people are like, well, he wouldn't have treated the Super Bowl like that. And it's like, you want to put your money on it? Like, that's not, you don't just, that's not how this works.
It's
You
not
do
a
the
switch you
smaller
can
stuff
flip.
professionally,
Yeah,
and
it's
then
like
people give you bigger tasks. Like,
it's like I don't know about you, but I've never heard anyone be like, "Oh yeah, greatness is like a 1 day decision."
yeah,
It's years and hours of consistency and reliability and work ethic
yeah. And your
accumulated
reputation
over
precedes you.
time.
You can't treat everybody in business like disposable and then expect the NFL to be like, well, we're different. Like,
Bruh.
no, like, you
Like,
have
no,
to
you
have a
can't be.
reputation for these things.
You go up to these, like, if the reputation is you don't know your words,
Yeah,
that's to your own lyrics.
yeah.
I don't know what we're supposed to do with that. I had people who were like, yeah, see, he knew his songs word for word. Like, good job. Like,
It's like,
that's like,
and for the Super
I
Bowl,
take care of
man,
my kids.
yeah. For the Super Bowl, man, you got to rehearse. You got to be in meetings. You have to do
Yep.
promo. You have to do interviews. You can't just you're not finna be showing up off of pills 3 hours late to meet with Roger
Yeah.
Goodell, nigga. That's not how this works.
It's not gonna work. It's never gonna pay off for you.
It's
Like
not.
we get that he's established and he's a legend, but he didn't deserve it. And
No.
if he had gotten the opportunity, I don't think he would have put on a good show because 13 minutes on that big of a field, up and down doing cardio with his health issues. Come on now.
Maybe he would have,
Let's just
maybe
be
he
honest
wouldn't. I
here.
saw him in 2009, America's Most Wanted tour. He put on a great show. He had a live band. It was a good time. But I'm not banking my reputation. This is a
No.
100 million people are watching, and the mic is on, and the feed is live. I'm not handing a known drug addict who
And
has
there's no
terrible
backtrack,
professionalism those
backing
keys.
track. No, I'm not. I'm
Oh,
really not.
well, you
And it's
could get a
just,
backing track to the Super Bowl. It'd be
well,
not
it would
interesting,
be
but
lame as hell, yeah. And that's the thing too. It's like, like even I don't know if you heard. Did you hear the on-air conversation between Lauren and Jess when they
no,
were talking about it on it?
I
It was just like you just saw the difference in professionalism.
yeah,
Like Lauren was like, "Well, I pulled you to the side and we had a conversation with such and such, the VP or whatever the position was, who was basically serving as a mediator between the two." And Jess literally goes, "I don't recall ever having the conversation." She was like, "Well, that's why I wanted to have a third party there with you, so we had proof and could document the conversation." Like she was like, Jess was like, "Why did you say any of this to me on air?" And she's like, I'm a professional. I'm not going to say that with you on air. I'm going to address you privately,
yeah,
you know, like you would do at an office."
yeah. You
Like
would
it
think,
just, yeah, it was just a vast difference in maturity and no offense and professionalism. And it just again further made the viewers' points, honestly. Which,
I
but I
agree with
get
that.
like I
Go ahead.
just gonna say, but I totally also get like I'm talking about the skill set issue.
Yeah,
Like in terms of the way the situation was handled, Breakfast Club handled that situation poorly. I totally feel like Jess is in the right to feel how she felt. Because I'd be nervous and anxious and paranoid too if I was in a situation where I come back and the person who's supposed to be temping for me or subbing for me is still getting minutes in the
yeah.
game. Like I'm back, my knees 100%. Why are they on the floor?
And the thing about the Breakfast Club is it's a lifetime gig, right? Like,
Correct. That's a
Jess
legacy
still does
gig.
stand up. It's a legacy gig. Jess still does stand up. I mean, she probably, outkicked her coverage getting the job in the first place. So she's a little
Yeah.
insecure about it. But no, I mean, she could sit in that chair for
Yeah,
the
I
rest of
agree.
her life collecting checks. I mean, DJ Envy and Charlemagne, they've been doing it for
Right.
20 years. And it's like,
And
I'm
they
sure that
st
money is good. Them checks clear. And,
Yep.
it's good. It's good
And
money.
like Charlemagne's been able to write two or three books and
Yeah.
go on political networks and G still does his DJing gigs and had his real estate thing. We know how that worked out with all that stuff, whatever. But so
He
you
had
still able
enough
to do all
money
your
to get
side
caught up in a
hustles?
Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, right.
That's how much disposable income Breakfast Club to pay them.
Right.
He
He
got
was
it
able
to
to get his
throw
Wolf
away
of
to
Wall Street
shady
on.
developers.
Right. Bro was out here like Jordan Belfort.
So I saw a tweet the maybe it was today that was like I don't like when people hit me up to say I'm in your city. And she was basically just like that means you just I'm not gonna go out of my way to make
I'm an
connections for you.
afterthought.
Correct.
Yeah.
Uh, I hate to do this, but thoughts. Your thoughts on that tweet.
Well, for one, I feel like people look for reasons to be upset sometimes, and like
Yeah,
everyone's so easily offended nowadays, or
correct.
looking for a reason to be uh feel offended. I think is you can feel like that.
Yeah,
It depends on the situation, of course, it's case by case basis. But let's say I hit someone up 2, 3 months ahead of time, knowing I'm going to be in, say, Atlanta, and I
correct.
say, "Hey, I'm going to be in Atlanta for this conference or for some sort of event, whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
I'd love to see you if you're free." That's not a I'm in your city at 10 p.m.
yeah,
text. Like what's like what you know what
yeah,
I mean? Like that's a completely different situation. Um, and I do that. Like I've have friends in other cities, so when I know people in other cities, I'll be like, "Hey, I'll be in X city on this date if you're free, if you want to hang out at this time or get a drink, whatever the case may be." I always do it ahead of time, so it's not
yeah.
doesn't feel like an afterthought. That tweeter, I saw the tweet. She didn't really offer a lot of context, but it's also like, God forbid someone want to make plans with you. Like,
Also, but like, my question is, so what's wrong with being an afterthought? You're not the main character of the universe. Like,
that is true too.
someone touched down in your city. They hadn't planned it. They had some free time, so they hit you up.
Right.
Okay, so they didn't plan their vacation around you. Oh, boo fucking who? Like, you are not the Pope,
True.
you know?
Yeah, people, it's like, who are you people?
It's just like, look, if someone hit me up the day their plane touched down, am I
Yeah.
going to prioritize linking with them? No. But
No.
like I might link with them, I might not, just depends on what I got going on. Like, but
Yeah.
it's not it's not that deep. Like, do you want to get I'm in your town, I got 6 hours to spare
Right.
in between things. Do you want to pop into an Applebee's and get a couple cocktails? I may be able to, I may not, depends. Like I obviously I'm not
Yeah.
sitting around waiting on the phone to ring either. But like that's
Right.
not anything to be offended by. Like some like you they
And
didn't probably like okay, you were an afterthought. You were a thought, motherfucker. Like they
you were
didn't
still a
like,
thought.
it ain't like you it
And
ain't
by
like
the way,
you ain't like get your woman or your man touchdown. This is just someone
yeah,
that you
like
knew from Instagram or Twitter or from high school or whatever. Like they didn't plan the trip around you. Boo,
right.
who
Clearly, you don't
cares?
hang out a lot. Clearly, you don't spend a lot
Yeah.
of time together. What's the problem here? And by the way, if they saw you saw that they'd been in your city via social media and not
Yeah.
hit contacted you, you probably would have felt the way about that.
Cause
So,
like when I go home, true. When I go home to Minnesota, there is like the list of people I have to hit. You
right.
know, those are the people that I've hit up a month ago, 2 months ago.
Yep.
Like, get the babysitter, get tell the wife she's got the kids, da 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 da. I got friends that are
Yeah.
married with children, all that type of stuff going on. And there
Right.
are people that if I touch down on Thursday, I might have some plans or whatever, and then Friday morning, plan A, I find out I got 3 hours to spare. And okay, so prime example, I had something going on. One time I was in Minnesota, I had something going on
Hmm.
downtown at like 1 o'clock. It ended about, I thought it was going to last, through my evening plans, but it ended up
Yeah.
wrapping up about 4 o'clock. So I knew some people that work downtown. I'm like, hey, you get off at 5. I'm in your city before you catch, before you get on the highway to go back to your suburb. You want to get a cocktail here or there. They popped up, some didn't. What the fuck is the
Yeah.
problem? No, I didn't plan it around you, but
It's
like, something came
right. No,
up, so I had a free second, and you were
and
around.
I
So,
can
right.
I don't get that. And for
Yeah,
me, it's like I've been like I go to other cities a lot to hang out with my friends and shit.
yeah,
So I try to like hit people up that I know in town on those days. Hey,
yeah,
I'm here free if you're ever even like I have a boy who has a house in Charlotte, and I'll
yeah,
be like hit up people. Hey, if you're free, come through to this event. Like just hang out, chill, whatever. It's no, it's a good vibe, good people, good food, drinks, whatever, all that. So if you can make it, whatever, love to see you. And I've also had situations where people were in my city and didn't hit me up, and I felt the way about that. So I would rather be hit up than not be hit up. Number one, and number two, it's also like you know, again, it's just the entitlement because
yeah.
what makes you think that you like I have to build my schedule and my life around you, my travel schedule? Like I'm
I,
gonna stay an extra day and shit. Like,
Yeah, and also especially if it's somebody that is like there's your I mean every look this no one can defend there are tiers to friendship. There are friends
yes,
that, like every time I'm in their city I have to see them.
I'm
There
gonna
are
see them.
friends that maybe every other. There are friends that if and I'm sure I'm in different tiers on other people's lists. And it's just not that
Correct.
deep. Again, you're not the main character of the universe. Like,
Yeah.
um
Yeah, I think that's the problem with like social media. I feel like it's gotten all of us caught up into like our egos a lot. Like it just
yeah,
feeds into that because you see the validation, you see the instant, the likes and the comments and the story
yeah,
emoji replies and shit like that. And it just, you start to think like you're not bigger than you are because you do
yeah,
matter, but you can kind of your head gets a little big sometimes. And every once
yeah,
in a while, when something reminds you that you're just a person like everybody else, that's like a devastating blow to your ego. And I
yeah.
think that's what that was. It wasn't, oh my God, I need to see you at this time and make plans with you, blah, blah, blah. Because I want to take you to this restaurant and spend the day with you. It was just something casual. And that's probably why that person's feelings appeared to be hurt.
Shout out to that person. I just had so I mean I'm sure you've seen the morning routine guy.
Yes.
I tweeted earlier and I just wanted to say the most and this is I don't like it's funny, it's hilarious. But I did want to just say like, and I don't want to take it too deep, but the most shocking thing about these videos, the most alarming thing about these videos is the
Yeah.
soullessness of it and the loneliness of it.
Yeah.
These dudes are almost all alone. Um, their whole day is just like optimized. It's just like
Hmm.
you don't hear like you don't
Like
hear
no idle time.
you don't hear no music, no podcast, no
Yeah.
dancing, no laughter, no it's just task to
No
task to
comfort
task.
shows. No,
No,
they're not
like
watching the news.
no
Like,
group chats, no funny jokes. It's just task to task to task. Everything they do is optimized for
yeah.
efficiency. And it's like they're like secular monks. It's like they have no
Yeah, it's really
like, there's
creepy.
just nothing to
First of
it.
all, it's have you seen American Psycho,
No. I
the
mean bits
movie?
and pieces, but
Okay, so the
yeah.
movie is literally about like that behavior. Like it's
Yeah.
like that shit is one, it's not normal, it's unhealthy, and it's a little creepy.
Yeah.
And also like, do you have to make the most out of every second of every
Yeah.
day? And I think the thing is like this reminds me of a debate they had on the Joe Budden podcast a few weeks ago where they're talking about how like if you watch like certain motivational videos,
Yeah.
like you can tell certain the ones that are geared towards men versus the ones that are geared towards everyone,
Yeah.
where it's just like you're not successful unless you have a six pack and you have money, and then it's like pictures of like niggas in suits and with the fucking capri pants and cigars, like as if that's like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just this new thing of just trying to like make these like monochromatic men almost like
Yeah.
these like cookie cutter fucking robotic type dudes. Like I have things I want to do throughout my day and be productive and shit, but I also don't mind having downtime and I enjoy like doing nothing.
Nah,
And that's okay.
I tell a lot of my female homegirls that like, and a lot of them agree with this because they've dated dudes like this. It's like
Yeah, it's always a
there's a
bad thing.
certain level of fitness where you just know that person wouldn't be any fun to date. Like
No,
it's
no,
like
yeah.
that part, like the dude who's like 215 with ripped abs is like
He
he's
doesn't
never
eat
gonna be
cake.
he's never gonna be able to go out for a drink with you. He's never gonna be able to order a pizza. Like I'm just telling you, I've dated like a super fitness, like a super into fitness woman, and I just they're not fun. Like they can't do
No, it's not.
anything. Like
I like there's
they literally
like
can't
there's
go
some
out to eat. Like
yeah,
it's
like there's somebody right, there's somebody I know who and they were like in the ramping up of their fitness journey to a
yeah,
point, but it was like becoming their life. And they told me, they said, food, I don't even enjoy food anymore. They were like, it's just a tool for me to get bigger.
yeah,
It's not like, even if you watch interviews with like actors who had to bulk up for roles, they're like, oh my God, it sucked. Like, it was miserable. They all say, like, I blended fucking chicken in raw
yeah.
chicken and shit in the fucking with the rice in the blender because it hurts your jaws to chew that much chicken every day. Like,
Yeah, it's
it's
like
not natural.
I do think, yeah, that's true. I do. It's just like, and I go to the gym a lot. I would count my calories. I get it, but you have to build in some fun for it. Otherwise, it's just misery. And I'll
Yeah, you're
end with
just like a
this,
machine.
and I'll end with this. Those morning dudes never have shirts on, and so much of Manosphere content is wild homoerotic. Like, like, all I'm gonna say, like, I that's all I got. Like, it's really, really weird.
It's funny. Did you see he responded to some of the jokes?
I can't watch another one of those videos. Like
He
I've
made
seen
no.
enough
It was just
shirtless
like
men.
him. No, it was just was him talking. He was like, I'm a. He, you could. Somebody was like, someone should tell him that he's being made fun of. These are like everyone's doing the spoof. They're grabbing the water and the bananas and the ice and shit. And he's like, I'm a leader and thank you guys for following me or whatever. And someone was like, you should tell him that he's being made fun of. This is not. He's being spoofed. He thinks he's being like influential,
Well, I mean, he's got 8
which is
million followers,
unfortunate.
so there's a bag is coming from
Well,
somewhere.
yeah, and not from that water company though.
Yeah.